Okay, just a second here, guys. Here we go. All right, now the two on the agenda, approval of the agenda.
So moved, Judy.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and seconder, ready for the question.
Question?
Favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. A conflict of interest, if any? I wouldn't think there would be, but just in case, I asked that question. Let's move on then to the presentation of the audit planning document by McMillan, Lawrence and Lawrence.
Okay, thank you, folks. My name is Darren Lawrence. I'm an audit partner with McMillan, Lawrence and Lawrence. Thank you very much for having us here today. I'm also on the call here with Ross Craig, who's a senior manager on our audit team as well. So this is our audit planning meeting with the audit committee. What we'll do is we'll take you through our audit planning document and talk about a few things. If you have any questions as we go, feel free to interrupt us. And then at the end, I believe we'll have an in-camera session with the audit committee as well. So at this point in time, I'll turn it over to Ross to take us through our audit planning document. Ross, did you want to share your screen? Or
do I know how to do that?
okay, what I can do is
Can you share it?
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Just hold on a second here. Okay.
If you have any difficulty with that, let me know. There we go.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Technology, I need my kids here to help out with this.
You're not the only one.
I rely on them too.
So Ross, if you'd like to take us through the audit
Okay.
planning letter.
So this is the audit planning letter for the year ended December 31st, 2022. Our purpose in writing is to ensure effective two-way communication between us and the role of auditors and yourselves with the role of overseeing the financial reporting process. In this letter, I'll go over our responsibilities as independent auditors and the information about plan, scope, and timing of the audit, and B, a request for response for some audit questions and any additional information you may have that could be relevant to the audit. Auditors' responsibilities, the respective responsibilities of ourselves and of management in relation to the audit of the financial statements are set out in the engagement letter that was signed by management in November the 19th, 2021. So we don't need a new engagement letter for this year. Planned scope and timing of the audit. Our objective as auditors is to express an opinion on whether the financial statements are prepared in all material respects with Canadian public sector accounting standards. In developing our audit plan, we work with management to understand the nature of the commission and identify and assess the risks and material misstatement in the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error. Our audit plan has been designed to focus on identified areas of risk. For the current year, we determined an overall materiality amount of $110,000. We have also considered misstatements that could be material in qualitative financial statement disclosures. Materiality will be used to plan and perform the audit, evaluate the effects of identified and uncorrected misstatements on the audit procedures performed, as well as on the financial statements. Materiality will be assessed at year end to ensure it remains appropriate. To help identify, so for internal controls, to help identify and assess the risks of material misstatement of financial statements, we obtain an understanding of internal control relevant to the audit. This understanding is used in the design of appropriate audit procedures. It is not used for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the overall effectiveness of internal control. Should we identify any significant deficiencies in internal control in the accounting systems, we will communicate them to you in our audit findings letter. Significant risks. In planning our audit, we identify significant financial reporting risks that by their nature require special audit consideration. If there are specific areas that warrant our particular attention during the audit, or where you would like us to undertake some additional procedures, let us know. Uncorrected misstatements. Where we identify uncorrected misstatements during the audit, we will communicate them to management and request they be corrected. If not corrected by management, we will then request that you correct them. If not corrected by you, we will also communicate the effect that they may have individually or in aggregate on our audit opinion. Audit findings. At the conclusion of the audit, we will prepare an audit findings letter to assist you with your review of the financial statements. This letter will include our views and comments on matters such as significant matters, if any, that arose from the audit that were discussed with management, significant difficulties, if any, encountered during the audit, qualitative aspects of the entity's accounting practices, including accounting policies, accounting estimates, and financial statement disclosures, any uncorrected misstatements, and any other audit matters of governance interest. Audit questions and requests. So there's a fraud question which we ask every year, and that's to help us in identifying the risk of fraud within inside the entity. We would appreciate your response to the following questions. Number one, what oversight, if any, do you provide of management's process for identifying and responding to fraud risks? Management's process could include policies, procedures, programs, or controls that serve to prevent, detect, and deter fraud. And number two, which is more important or most important, is do you have any knowledge of any actual suspected or alleged fraud, including misappropriation of assets or manipulation of the financial statements affecting the entity? If so, please provide details on how the fraud or allegations of fraud were addressed.
So I think at this
there.
point, Ross, we should get, like, is the audit committee aware of any fraud or potential fraud this year?
Not I, but I can ask around the table. Does anybody?
Or
Not that I'm aware of.
yeah. We'll ask these same questions of management during the audit.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Darren.
Okay, Ross?
Yeah, so again, one of the other parts of that was, is there anything that you want us to specifically, I guess, take a closer look at or audit more closely that occurred last year, or just basically continue on with our audit plan?
I think I'd just say continue on. We have no indication that anything is taking place.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So other matters we'd like to bring to your attention. Would you please bring to our attention any significant matters or financial reporting risks of which you are aware that may not have been specifically addressed in our proposed plan? We could include such matters as future plans, contingencies, events, decisions, non-compliance with laws and regulations, potential litigation, specific transactions, such as those with the related parties or outside the normal course of business, and any additional sources of audit evidence that might be available. We recognize your significant role in the oversight of the audit and would welcome any observations on the plan. The letter is prepared for the sole use of those charged with the governance of the commission to carry out and discharge responsibilities. The content should not be disclosed to any third party without our prior written consent, and we assume no responsibility to any other person. So,
Okay. Oh, thank you, Ross. That is our audit planning letter, and it does cover many of the items that we are required to communicate to you, the audit committee, in writing. As we go through our audit process, we will bring items to management's attention during our audit. And of course, if there's anything significant, we will bring it to the audit committee at our final audit finding meeting when we go through the financial statements. So at this point, there was nothing else that we really had from a planning perspective. Obviously, we will do our standard audit procedures. If there's anything that comes up from an analytical perspective during the audit, we will look into that deeper. As part of our audit process, we do look at your significant balances in the financial statements. And of course, we spend more time on the more significant and the items that require more judgment. So we do go through your numbers in detail. And the good thing is your accounting staff have been there. They've been consistent. They've been there for a number of years now. So we are not anticipating any difficulties during our audit. Sometimes you get into situations where you have a change in staff, internal staff, whatever that case may be, and it's a little more difficult for us to ensure that the numbers are correct. But again, we're not aware of anything this year that should create a problem for us. Okay. So is there anything else from management's perspective or the audit committee's perspective that they'd like to have us look into during the audit?
Is this for the management, this management's comments here, Darren?
Yeah.
Okay,
And again, we'll talk to management more
sure.
so during the audit as well. Yeah. So if there's nothing else on your end, there's nothing else on our end, we will schedule, we'll be coming out for our field work. And then the next step will be we will prepare the draft financial statements. We'll circulate that to management, which they'll circulate to the audit committee in advance of the audit committee meeting. And then if the financial statements are approved by the audit committee, they will be taken to the board and go from there for approval. So there's nothing else from our perspective. I believe at this time, we usually go into an in-camera session.
Right, so what we'll do there, with your permission, Mr. Chair, I will move staff into the waiting room, and then at the end of the in-camera session, I'll bring them back in.
Okay, that would be good, Don. Thank you very much.
Now, Dawn, does the recording continue?
So I'm going to stop the recording
Okay,
after I get folks in the waiting room.
okay.
Waiting room, Mary Kay, waiting room. I'm going to suggest that it's okay for me to be in this meeting because I was absent for the whole year.
Mhm.
And I'm now going to pause the recording. So the in-camera session has been completed, and
We're on to 6 now, discussion and direction of the staff. Okay. I'll just see where we want to go there. Are there any direction or discussion with the committee on what way we should move here with this, with the staff towards this audit? It's pretty well standard procedure audit.
Yeah.
Are we all good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then, are we ready for an adjournment? If there's no
Oh.
further question, could I ask for an adjournment?
I so move.
Second it, Bob Powell.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Ready for the question? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned, guys. Thank you very much.
thank you, everyone. I'll close the meeting off now.
Thanks,
Okay,
Phil.
Thanks, guys.
Here.
Thank you,
Thank
Phil.
you.
have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Bye now.